I know it's not just me who feels somewhat agitated or pissed whenever you're talking to someone, and you can clearly tell that they're not necessarily paying attention to what you're having to say. Maybe they have something serious to do. Maybe someone had texted them with an important issue, or maybe they just simply don't care, and that's not really their issue. That's more of mine for not making them care. But sometimes you may feel putting up a little fit, or maybe just wanting to get their attention. However, you don't really think that much of it after 5 minutes. That's just something for smaller issues. When it comes to something maybe larger, for example, take when you have zero uncertainty of what you want to do with yourself coming out of university. Sure, you can't really necessarily talk to someone in 5, 10 minutes and find that solution. Sometimes that may take a while. And sometimes there, it all comes really down to whose opinion do I trust? There are millions of people that can tell you what to do. You just don't know exactly what their intentions are. They want for you. Maybe they do want what's best for you, but they don't necessarily understand where you're going, what you want, how do you even want them to present it to you? And if you scale that up to, let's say, a city, when you don't even know what every single individual wants, or maybe even a collective, well, then it can really go out of hand because not only do you have hundreds of citizens going against you, you have to deal with everyone else that has zero idea on maybe their issues because they were so worried about their own, but because their own leader that they have chosen to as or her primary duty to listen to you and be able to have that ability to articulate that in people of power. And when there's no listening going on, you're going to feel agitated. You might not even go down the level of temper tantrum. You might take it out to the streets. And without that, you have no order. Without order, there cannot be no progress. Instead, you're going to have something like chaos, where there's zero control over anything. Now, that's not good, especially due to the extra polarization that we have now on social media. And when that's all that we have ever consumed, it's going to get a lot harder to agree on just even simple things. Most likely, we still can't agree if soup is a cereal or not. It's crazy. Let's just scale that issue up. So, what actually makes us somehow somewhat agreeable? I mean, we're not fighting over other cities besides sports. We're still semi-functional to an extent, and that just comes from a thing called trust. You trust me that I'm not going to waste your time. This definitely is intriguing if you're still going for it. So you have already given me your attention in exchange. That's also the trust. And even people with your family, your friends, you trust them that they will listen to you, that they have their best intentions for you, and that they'll give you a good time. In exchange, you will give them their trust too by giving up your time, your experiences, maybe sometimes even up to your life, depending on the circumstances. That's what trust is. It transcends space time, where nothing really stops it besides your own intuitive and emotional ability or emotional intelligence. And that's really the key that holds all of society together. It's nothing related to money or maybe even besides the obvious physics, it's just trust. That's the only thing that holds us together. What is actually trust made out of if we're speaking in the human sense? It's not something that you can break down like sodium chloride, where it's something about chemistry or maybe even gravity, which is more physics. This is something that is more intuitive. Trust is really just made out of one component: transparency. Or if you're clear about what you're doing, why you choose to have an authoritative approach rather than an authoritarian one, people can notice that you're not pulling anything out of your sleeve. You're coming out clean. That way, people will believe you more. So, for example, when you have authoritarian parent versus an authoritative parent, the authoritarian parent may say, "Oh no, I don't want you to eat this food. Don't." But they don't tell you why, and you're always going to try and maybe agitate or even go against that. Similar to when there's a disagreement between you and the public, you might go in disagreement, maybe in protest, demonstrate, or maybe even go into the chaos route. Whereas the authoritative parent May say, I don't want you to eat this food because maybe this happened to someone in my family and maybe they died. So I don't want you to go through that. So I have this fear. Cool. Now you know where they are coming from, and you won't have that same doubt about why are they doing this to me? Do they not know what I want? You have that background. So now you not only do you accept that, you trust them even more, that they really have the best intentions for you. That's just one micro example. Now scale that up to something like public sector. Just picture about it. Because the second you have transparency, you have trust. And trust as the most important currency ever made in humankind. Scale that up to millions of people living within a certain perimeter that we can call a town, a county, a city, a state, country, a continent. You have submission. Your constituents, your citizens, they will believe in you. They will stay with you even during the good bad. And that's what really is the idealistic world that one should live in, is where everyone can have a mutual agreement baseline and scale up from there, which is what allows us to have that prosperity between all of us and really push for the ambitious things. But it cannot be a one-sided argument either. You can't just have the politician assuming, or even the person who makes the power, just guessing about what do they really want, just from certain data points that could be found on social media. It really does not necessarily work that way, because emotion and logic do not really go hand in hand when it comes to humans. We may even respond something that isn't really us, but we're speaking via emotion, not via our our true understanding or what we really want. And that's necessarily the word as dialogue. We must have an interaction between the ones who build the world and the one who run. It's like with engineers and the policymakers. The engineers build the world, the lawmakers run this world. And so for the citizens, they must be able to have that one-on-one interaction with the one who decides what will happen next to them. But mayor town halls don't necessarily cut it in this time and age. We are accelerating at the point where sometimes we don't even know what's new at this point, what's even real, what's the right news. So we need to have a personalized interaction with whoever is running the show or the city. So what we essentially need is still a dialogue, but now we need to reach to the future, because the future is now, old man. It's time to reboot our conversations. Time to go digital. And with that saying that, what was used to be done is you go to the mayor town hall, you get a microphone, you speak, you discuss, and you solve. Switch one word. Now you're going to publish. You will publish on a specific platform, on a specific area, where not only the mayor and you can post something about what they are concerned about or what their next action will be. You can have the entire county or city speaking with each other, deciding, oh, is this, can we all agree on this point? Is this the one that we most agree on? Or is this one that makes the most sense according to X circumstances? Where the public sector and the citizens can mutually get to an agreement without having any of the garbage that's being posted on other social media sites, strictly just for making those decisions between the people, and the articulator. And with that is the basis of what I'm going to call Project Amina. And Amina is an Arabic word for faith, because I do believe that we still have that capability of being able to have these difficult talks. They are feasible. What I do believe is we need a medium, a good and young group of moderators that can translate that into the tools of today. That is what is most needed. We still have that power. All we need now is a strong team and a few visionaries to help us crank this out. And with Amina, we will give not only the public sector the ability to communicate with them, but for the citizens, you will be able to write policy in your pocket. And my intentions of this presentation wasn't to pitch no idea or ask for investment. Simply, one, I needed to distill these ideas out and give them to the world and see where they take off. And two, if anyone's down to explore this idea and even build it out, why not? Let's go recruit. So if you want to recruit, If you want to hop on, leave a comment in the comment section. Say I'm interested, and I throw you back with an email, and should do it. So let's build out Amina. Let's rebuild society down to the fundamental levels of trust. Catch you.